I'm still shaking as I write this. Not because I'm scared anymore, but because I finally realized how close I was to being publicly destroyed at my job. And how fast it all flipped. I work in a corporate office, hybrid schedule, decent pay, nothing flashy. I'm quiet at work, I do my job, and I am good at it. I don't gossip, I give necessary contributions when needed. And that made me a perfect target. My manager, let's call him Eric, has one of those personalities that fills the room whether you want it to or not. Loud. Confidence. Loves being the smartest guy in every meeting. From the beginning, Eric made it clear he didn't like me. Apparently, he wants to be the only bright one. He'd interrupt me mid-sentence, take credit for my work, and make these weird jokes whenever executives are around. Stuff like, AJ is still learning the ropes. AJ means well, but this role can be a bit advanced. Everyone would laugh politely. I'd sit there smiling while my stomach twisted. I told myself to ignore it. Until the email. 3 weeks ago, Eric sent a calendar invite titled, Performance Review Urgent. No warning. No prior feedback. Just a meeting, and HR was copied. I barely slept the night before. The next morning, I joined the call. Eric, HR, and 2 senior leaders I'd never spoken to before. That's when I knew something was very wrong. Eric starts by saying, we've noticed some concerning patterns. Patterns, plural. He shares his screen. And suddenly, a slide deck appears with my name on it. Except I didn't recognize any of it. Missed deadlines. Communication failures. Client dissatisfaction. Each slide felt like a punch. I opened my mouth to speak, and Eric cut me off. Let me finish, please, he said. HR nodded at him. I felt trapped. Then Eric said the words that made my chest go cold. Given the severity of this, we felt it was important to address it publicly. That's when I realized this wasn't a review. It was an execution. Eric turned to the senior leaders and said, we wanted transparency before making any final decisions. Final decisions. I thought I was about to lose my job. Then something happened. One of the senior leaders asked, can you show us the source data for these claims? Eric froze for just half a second. Then he clicked into an email thread. This is feedback we've been collecting over time, he said. I recognized the email immediately. Because I'd written it. It was a draft. A private note I'd sent Eric months early, outlining risks on a project and asking for guidance. He'd copied phrases from it, removed the context, and reframed it as evidence of my incompetence. My hands were shaking, but my voice didn't. I said, that email wasn't feedback about my performance. Eric snapped back. It clearly shows issues. HR turned to me. Would you like to respond? This was it. I said, yes, but I'd like to share my screen. Eric's jaw tightened. HR agreed. When my screen came up, the room changed. I pulled up the full email thread, scrolled slowly, and read the subject line out loud. Risk assessment, manager review requested. Then I clicked again. And there it was. Eric's reply. From that same day. It said, great catch, thanks for flagging this early. I'll take it from here. Silence. I added. This was a proactive risk assessment. I was asked to do this. One senior leader leaned forward. Eric, why was this framed as a performance issue? Eric stuttered. I was just trying to show. I kept going. I opened another folder. Since we're discussing patterns, I said, here's my performance feedback from clients. 5 emails. All positive. All sent directly to Eric. All never forwarded. HR's expression changed completely. Then the second senior leader asked the question that ended everything. Eric, have you raised any of these concerns with Op before today? Eric went quiet. Too quiet. HR closed her laptop. We'll need to pause this meeting. Eric tried to regain control. Let's not overreact. HR cut him off. This meeting is adjourned. The call ended. I sat there staring at my screen, heart racing, convinced I'd just made things worse. 20 minutes later, HR called me privately. She apologized. Actually apologized. She told me the meeting was never approved to be conducted that way, and that what Eric did raised serious concerns. By the end of that day, Eric was removed from managing anyone. By the end of the week, he was on administrative leave. 2 weeks later, his LinkedIn updated. Open to new opportunities. Here's the part that still makes my blood run cold. HR later told me Eric had planned to use that meeting to justify my termination. If I hadn't kept records, if I hadn't stayed calm, if I'd reacted emotionally, I'd be gone. So yeah, my manager tried to humiliate me, and it backfired immediately. Now when someone tells me to just ignore workplace politics, I think about how close I came to losing everything.